is there a word for a young Karen who's obviously going to grow up into a capital K Karen, but is also a TERF? Can you combine the two? Would it be like Karen T TERF? Would that be the full name? Something of that effect? Maybe. I'm not entirely sure. An Ashley, a Kayling, a Becky, a Taryn, a Turfan, Turfin, a Kerf, J.K. Roll. J.K. Roll. Ooh, it's time for the Alliance defending freedom, 'cause freedom matters. Should transgender women be allowed to compete in women's sports?
I started running track in middle school. At first, it was just for fun, something to do after school. But by high school, I began to appreciate the beauty of the sport, what's required both mentally and physically to succeed. The intensity, the discipline, the precision. To compete at a high level in track takes...
At around the 24-second mark, we're going to need you to pan over slowly, and then we need basically her to make a very sad face, because if we're not sad already, we need to pull it all down, okay?
There's nothing more satisfying than crossing that finish line first. But running is only satisfying, and all that sacrifice is only worth it if the race is fair. In my freshman year, the night before a big race, my parents told me that a biological male who identifies as a girl would be competing in my race the next day. On the bus heading to the event, our coach also gave me the news. I didn't have much time before the race to process what this meant.
Wait, so the coach in the bus was like, by the way, a biological male who identifies as a female will be competing against you today. This is real. It's happening.
But I had plenty of time to process it afterward. And for the next few years of my high school career, as I watched again and again, first one, then two, biological males dominate girls' track events in our state.
Just when you didn't think it could get any worse. Plus, transgender women, in quotation marks. I mean, it's... Wow.
It started from what might have seemed like a fair idea. The Connecticut Athletic Association decided that males who believe they are girls can compete against girls. But beliefs don't change biology, and the result has been anything but fair. Since 2017, the two biological male runners who have competed in girls' high school track in Connecticut have won 15 women's track championship titles. Titles that were held by 9 different girls in 2016. 4 of those state championship titles should have been mine. They've also shattered...
Wow. Damn. Yeah, I mean, the worst thing about this is it destroys the meritocracy. Like, you can't just pull yourself up by your bootstraps anymore. Like, imagine what'll happen. One day you're going to be like,
clean up your room. Clean up your room. Clean up your room.
And then you try, but then there's a biological male who identifies as a female.
Those two biological males now hold 17 all-time...
Those two biological males. Damn. It's just, wow.
Individual women's meet records in Connecticut. As a result, the rest of us have lost over 85 opportunities to qualify for higher levels of competition, losing scholarship opportunities, titles, and wider recognition. I remember the 55-meter indoor track competition in the 2019 state championship. I finished in 7.23 seconds. That was the top time among biological girls, but 3rd overall. The male who finished 2nd in the race clocked in at 7.
She's even skirted past saying biological male. Now it's just the male who competed.
The new women's state champion, also a male, broke the all-time record for the event, finishing in 6.95 seconds, a time that would have earned that same runner 140th place in the men's 55-meter dash that year. It's
these fucking cartoons. This is horrifying. This is like, we've watched a lot of shitty things on this channel. This one is, oof.
It's hard to explain the feeling that no matter how talented you are, no matter how hard you train, how much you practice, how much you want to win, you've already lost before the competition even begins. Losing builds character, but only if the competition is fair. I and 2 of my fellow female runners, Selena and Alana.
And here we go, displayed, on screen,
sued the Connecticut Interscholastic Athletic Conference in federal court with the help of Alliance Defending Freedom. We challenged their policy because it unfairly discriminates against us girls. Studies have shown that male athletes consistently achieve results 10 to 20% higher than comparably fit and trained women across almost all athletic events.
Great. That doesn't apply here at all. I mean, I know I haven't done any debunking as up to this point because I'm just it's short. It's only 4 minutes. Wow, this 4 minutes feels like 30 years, by the way. It's so horrifying. But again, this doesn't apply. This doesn't apply at all. You're not going to be the same. You're not going to have the same composition if you were taking HRT or hormone therapy. You're not going to have it's not comparable. You can't do that. Even
when males suppress testosterone, some of men's physical advantages never go away, like greater lung capacity, larger skeletal size, and greater bone density. In 1972, Congress passed Title IX, a civil rights law that was designed, in part, to stop discrimination against girls and women and to provide them with equal athletic opportunities. But now, in the name of progress, Connecticut and other states are undoing all of that. For the first time in nearly 50 years, they are tilting the playing field against women. That's not progress, and that's not fairness. It's discrimination. When the law reflects real, biological differences between males and females, that's a good thing. When it doesn't, girls like me suffer the most harm.
Oh, is that it? Oh, wonderful. God, that was... when is it going to end? I almost apologize for that one. To break things down a bit, the question I'm left with at the end of all of this is there a word for a young Karen who's obviously going to grow up into capital K Karen, but is also a TERF? Can you combine the two? Would it be like Karen T TERF? Would that be the full name? Something of that effect? Maybe. I'm not entirely sure. An Ashley, a Kayling, a Becky, a Taryn, a Turfan, Turfin, a Kerf, J.K. Rowling. J.K. Rowling. Oh my, it's a young J.K. Rowling. Oh, okay. Well, that explains everything. There. Now we know. So, if you want some references to looking to the science behind this, because again, it doesn't line up with the bigotry. That's the hard thing. I mean, have you ever heard of the stereotype that on some level, history and science seems to favor the left? I say that, and most people say that sometimes as a joke, but the idea is that the Overton window may shift ever so slowly, but the actual biology behind these incidences and the actual, let's say, investigations, the due process, the scientific method, all of that usually bears out in contrary to this particular form of transphobia. So, places you want to reference. If you want a good YouTube series, I would point everyone in the direction of Essence of Thought. They have an incredible video series on this where they take down, I believe, Rational... I forget the name of the person they're taking down in multiple videos, but it's incredible. And they are incredibly well sourced, by the way. So you're going to see a really, really good detailed breakdown of all of the different rationality rules. Thank you very much. All of the different studies, and they're really good too. About every single time they mention something, you'll see a number in the top of the screen pop up. So that's a wonderful thing as well. But that's a really good video series to look into that. And if you want, I guess, a more let's just say credentialist, academic reference, look no further than the Olympic Committee, because the Olympic Committee has been pushing back against this for some time. They allow trans women to compete in women's sports for the simple reason that, the science does not back up the fact that it is creating an unfair advantage for the other competitors. And also, you are not seeing this outrageous, let's say, dichotomy, this huge discrepancy between all of a sudden, once trans women started entering sports, there was suddenly no room for other individuals to compete. It doesn't bear out. None of this bears out. It's basically just bigotry, but you're trying to justify it under this new guise of feminism. Hence, that's why we call TERFs TERFs. It's wow. That was rough. That was rough.
Marxism. Come join me while I make
Hey, we want to mutual aid you to get some eyeballs on your work. So if you have a leftist YouTube channel or Twitch stream or something you want us to advertise, just send us a 20 to 30 second ad using the forums at weareserfs.com. We'll do our best to help you out. And please submit once per channel.
To our God, I'm Raft. We pray at your altar of greatness. To our monarch, Thomas Bone, you are the light that guides our path. To our lords, Jeffrey Lamb, Trevor R., Stephen, Ninetails Cosmic Fox, Hans Josephine, and Poppy Nelson, we bow meekly for your pleasure. To our knights of the Round Table, Josh Mickelson, Dylan Byth, Alexander Thaler, Zach Christensen, Todd Buckingham, Todd Lajeunesse, Clement Chetska, Skybear Games, Moss Beast, Political Puppy, Ali Menthol, Jimmy Bignuts, Alan R., Andreas Chitoro, Good Poon Hates Cops, That's Solid Poon Then, Dr. Zayas, Joppy, Radiclu, Violent Orchard, and Sophie Baby, we salute you. And to our many merchants and farmers, thank you. Fuck you, Lance!